and welcome to Negro Weekly. My name is Olivia Sumner, and today we'll be discussing the Tuskegee Airmen. The Tuskegee Airmen is a group of African-American pilots that are fighting in World War II. A group of black pilots started off in an experiment to see if black males could fly airplanes. The result was the 99th Pursuit Squadron. After a while, they named themselves the Tuskegee Airmen on March 22, 1941. Captain Alonzo S. Ward became the third commander of the 99th Fighter Squadron. As a matter of fact, we have him right here.
Hello, everybody, and I'm glad to be here.
Hello, Captain Ward. I'm glad to have you. Now, you're here to talk about your job, correct?
It is correct, Miss Sumner. I'm here to talk about me being a Negro pilot in the United States Air Force.
Okay, so let's start off with how you became a part of the 99th Fighter Squadron.
I became a part of the 99th All-Black Fighter Squadron when the government decided to start a project where they would teach Negro men how to fly and contribute to the war force. I started off in primary flight training.
Can you tell us what primary flight training was like, and what did you do there?
All right, there were two classes you had to take. The first was both ground school, and the second was flying training in military aircrafts. Ground school courses included meteorology, radio communication, radio code, airplanes, engines, and navigation. The flying training took place in BT-13 plane, which unlike the biplanes in Moulton Field, had only one set of wings. Our first advanced class began at Tuskegee Army Airfield, November 8, 1941.
That is very interesting, Captain Ward. Were there any other flight training courses you had to take?
Well, after we learned the basic flying, we were ready for advanced training, which began in January 1942.
And what did you do there?
If you were going to fly a plane, then the pilots flew AT-6 aircraft, which did not appear very different from BT-13s, but which were more advanced and maneuverable. But ground courses included armament, gunnery, tactics, and techniques of air fighting, advanced navigation, maintenance, and engineering. He was rated at Elgin Field, Florida, for gunnery and combat tactics. It's plain and simple.
Wow, you're just full of information, Captain Ward. Now, I would like to know how you feel about the fact that the Tuskegee Airmen are separated from the rest of the Air Force.
Well, in my opinion, I think that the Army Air Corps should be all in one. I think we should integrate, not segregate.
Thank you, Captain Ward. I really enjoyed having you on the show.
You're welcome, Miss Sumner. I enjoyed being here today.
That was Captain Alonzo S. Ward talking about his job and his feelings about the segregation of air forces. Now our next guest is Walter Crenshaw, a Tuskegee Airman. Hello, Mr. Crenshaw. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. It's great to be here.
That's good. So tell me, Mr. Crenshaw, is it true that you were the first black military airman during World War II?
Yeah, that's true. I was the first black Tuskegee Airman during World War II.
Wow, so tell me, what was your first battle like?
Well, you see, I was stationed at Tuskegee Army Airfield in Tuskegee, Alabama from 1942 to 1944, and ultimately attained the rank of sergeant. I was not a pilot, though, but I served as the administrative assistant to the provost marshal during the initial training of cadets for the 99th Pursuit Squadron and the 332nd Fighter Squadron, so I never even saw a battle.
Oh, but your job was more important. You trained the soldiers, correct?
No, I didn't get to train the soldiers. I was responsible for checking the background and induction of each cadet, whom I got to know personally. My favorite memory was when I sat along a P-51 with the greatest aviator that ever stepped on a plane, my boy, the great Daniel Shappy James Jr.
So you're telling me you got to know every cadet that walked past you?
You are correct there, Miss Sumner.
Now, could you tell me how you feel about the segregation of the Tuskegee Airmen from the rest of the Air Force?
Well, you see, in my opinion, the Army should not be segregated. If we are all fighting a common enemy, we should all be treated the same. And it doesn't matter how many awards we win or how well we do, it's not going to change anytime soon. And that's just not right.
Thank you, Mr. Crenshaw, for coming on the show. I really enjoyed listening to your stories and opinions.
Thank you, Miss Sumner, for having me on the show. I enjoy talking to you.
That was Walter Crenshaw talking about his time in the war force and his feelings on segregation of the Air Force. But now our next guest is very special. Everybody welcome First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt. Hello, Miss Roosevelt, and good morning.
Hello, Miss Sumner. It's great to be here.
It's great to have you here, Miss Roosevelt. Do you support the idea of the Tuskegee Airmen?
I very much do support the Tuskegee Airmen. In fact, I want to have one of the members of the Airmen to take me for a flight around the area of Alabama.
Yes, I heard about that, but why do you support them?
Well, that's a hard question to answer. No matter how many ribbons they won for their courage, there will be no escaping the racism that was to come after they came home. I support the airmen because there will be no segregation in the Army. If you want to die for your country, you will do it together. I feel like in war you have to stick together with the soldiers for your country, no matter what color your skin is, but apparently America is not with you.
Wow, I have no words. What you just said is so powerful. I don't think there's much else to say. Thank you for being here, Miss Roosevelt. I really enjoyed your thoughts on the war.
No, thank you, Miss Sumner. I enjoy being able to speak my mind to you.
That was our First Lady, Eleanor Roosevelt, with some power. Until next week, this is Olivia Sumner signing off. Thank you and goodbye.